everyone, and thank you so much for coming this evening to this Trade and Sustainability reception hosted by TESS in the context of Geneva Trade Week. So I'm really delighted to see so many of our friends and colleagues here this morning, or this evening, sorry, we're already up to the evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carolyn Deere Birkbeck. I'm the Executive Director of TESS, which is based here at the Geneva Graduate Institute. I created TESS 4 years ago with the explicit aim of promoting a trading system that works to address the triple environmental crises facing our planet: climate crisis, nature loss, and pollution, and to do so in a way that acknowledges and addresses the importance of advancing on sustainable development priorities, particularly from developing countries. So in terms of what we do here in Geneva, we spend most of our days trying to promote inclusive international cooperation and action on trade and sustainability. The reason I wanted to have the reception this evening was to bring together the community of many of those who we work with here in Geneva, and also to thank you for your collaboration, for your cooperation, for the work that we do together. So firstly, I wanted, again, just to thank Dimitri and our colleagues for Geneva Trade Platform for helping this be the first Trade and Sustainability Day of Geneva Trade Week, and for your collaboration throughout our existence at TESS since the launch of TESS. I also want to thank my brilliant team at TESS, who many of you know, various people here. I'm just going to shout out for Fabrice, Simon, Christophe. Now I'm going to lose half of the staff. Yasmin is there. Yasmin is here. Who else? Eugene. Where's Eugene? Eugene is here, and there's many others of our staff who I've no doubt missed who are here as well. But you will know many of them, and I'm very grateful every day for the support and hard work and commitment of our team. More broadly at TESS, I'm very grateful for the community of allies that we have around the world that we work with on trade and sustainability. So here we see the sort of front face of international cooperation, but for much of our work, we try as much as possible to collaborate with experts, with scholars, with stakeholders and so on, working in capitals and at the national level around the world, and trying to find ways to learn from their experience or bring their voices into these conversations as well. Whilst they're not here today, I would say that's core to TESS, is to also thank that wider community. So I did want to just take this moment, because I have a brilliant team, to promote some of our work very shortly. Many of you here feature in the Synergies series. Synergies is our online platform at TESS where we publish expert views from colleagues around the world. We're open to contributions from experts, stakeholder organizations. Fabrice is the editor, so you can always ask him, pitch him an idea. But we have coming out in the coming few weeks a series on addressing the climate crisis and supporting climate resilient development. It's a whole compilation of views on where and how the trading system can support. We also are launching this week, tomorrow, a new series that Yasmin has been in charge of supporting, which is on trade, climate and net zero pathways. And it's a pretty exciting series because we've commissioned a set of sectoral studies. Peter here is author of one of those on critical minerals, trying to look at scenarios for developing countries on net zero strategies in different sectors. So we think that's a really useful contribution to try and look at it from the developing country perspective. And then this week, on Thursday at the WTO Public Forum, we're releasing a new report, which we've done with WWF, on scenarios for accelerating progress on nature, climate crisis and sustainable development, trying to look at the trade opportunities and strategies that could be there. For us, it's very exciting because it's a way of bringing in one of the world's largest conservation or environmental organizations and trying to help them see strategically how they can place themselves in this space as well. I think that's some of the core things we've been working on. But here, just the last thing I wanted to say is around the state of play. So today is a good day for trade and sustainability and multilateralism because we have the entry into force of the fish agreement over at the WTO. And I think that's something that, whilst it's long overdue and took a long time, it's something that we should all collectively, many of you in different ways have been part of that discussion over the last 20, 25 years. That's good news for the multilateral system. There's a lot more to be done in terms of all of the main other aspects of the fisheries negotiations that weren't completed yet, but at least it's a step in the right direction. On the other hand, I'm reminded every day, as I'm sure all of you, about how many challenges we face. We face challenges in terms of trade cooperation. We face challenges in terms of international cooperation on sustainability, both in terms of failing to address the urgency of the environmental crises that we face, and also challenges in bolstering international cooperation needed to make progress on those. And we face challenges in multilateralism. So we can all be really depressed. So I wake up every morning trying not to be depressed and to be optimistic and to have a sense of agency about what we can all do together. And I think this community here has a critical role to play in keeping on moving. I had the privilege of listening actually to Al Gore at a meeting about a year ago, and it was right after, less than a year, right after Trump was re-elected, and there was much pessimism and dismay. And he said, sometimes you can't run, and if you can't run, then you have to walk. And if you can't walk, then you have to crawl. Then the most important thing is to keep on moving in the right direction. And I feel like here we have lots of opportunities to keep on moving in the right direction on trade and sustainability. We have lots of countries who are still very committed and interested in finding ways forward, lots of stakeholders who are willing to do that work. So I think our job at TESS is to try and help keep people focused on the long-term goal, which is to bolster this kind of cooperation, and in the short term to do whatever we can to help move ourselves in that direction. I think that's all I wanted to say today, but just a reminder that I think when I hear about international cooperation and multilateralism, it's very easy to be very cynical. We can all be armchair journalists and talk about how this is not working and that cannot work. But I think we can't afford to underestimate the importance of the multilateral system, the fragility of international cooperation, and to keep on being invested in the fact that what you will do, for those of you who are delegates here, every day to try and keep on talking to each other, engaging in dialogue, looking for ways forward, exchanging experience is absolutely critical. And we may not fully realise just how important that effort to keep on a daily basis reconstructing and recreating international cooperation. And at least for TESS, this is something that we're committed to doing with all of you. And I hope that that will be enough to inspire you to stay for another half hour, talk to your colleagues and see what you can do to be champions of this progress going forward. But thank you again for taking the time to be here.